has been a very questionable source of promotion from a particular creative agency or event organization called Live Hub, who basically was supposed to host the renowned Afro pop star Wizkid. So dicey situation. I don't even know where to start from it. And it's funny because when this first came out, I told everyone that the promotion was looking very booky, because best believe that if someone as big as Wizkid, with the kind of mileage that he has, is performing, the thing should be promoted in our faces. They should be stuffing it down our throats. Everywhere we turn, we should be seeing Wizkid, 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 Wizkid. But we didn't.
But
we actually didn't see it.
But he was also posting about it.
Not really.
On his socials.
Not really. Not in comparison to maybe like the O2 or his Apple Music appearance. No. In fact, this was very quiet. I feel like I didn't actually see anything until the day before from his end anyway.
Oh, really?
And he was reposting things, but subtly.
I saw it like a couple of times, because we even, on Ghana Weekend, we even did a story on it. We even rolled out the artists that were performing and everything. So it was something that's, for me, I feel like it looked more like promising, you know.
Really?
Until Saturday, to be honest. Like, I feel like it was looking promising.
So I took the liberty of just going, when the event was first announced, I actually went on the social media, the Instagram, and then that's when I realized that, okay, this is a brand new, you know, event. Impressive, at least at first, that they'd actually been able to book someone as big as Wizkid. And following, you know, his album dropping, everyone was kind of excited. But the problem was, it seemed as if they were struggling to sell tickets, because as of the week of the concert, we were getting notifications and encouragement from various influencers to buy tickets. They were doing a lot of giveaways. At a certain point, universities had different codes for discounts. And I was like, why are you doing this?
It was funny because the ticket prices also kept dropping and dropping. Like, first it was 500 CDs, and then it dropped to 300, and then now they were even walking in traffic and went asking people, would you want to attend a Wizkid concert?
Man. So this was happening on the grounds of the night, but leading towards the event, it wasn't looking very good. I can't even lie. It really wasn't looking very good. But in case you don't know what happened this weekend, Wizkid was set to perform at the Accra Sports Stadium, Nohinajan Stadium, to fill out 40,000 seated stadium, the 40,000 seated stadium. And safe to say, guys, not only did it not fill out, but he just didn't appear on stage, along with King Promise and our official DJ appeared. There was a B-Tech Ashake, which no one understands how that got there. Like, no one understands.
A low budget Ashake.
A low budget Ashake.
Yeah, I heard Kokoli was even on stage.
Kokoli was there. Yeah. He actually came to dance a little bit.
Like, let's give special shout outs to Kojo Manuel. Like, apparently he held it down. Like, he held it down.
This is not
massively.
An easy job at all.
Like, he did well.
It isn't at all. But yes, so I was actually set to go for the event. Didn't go because as of 12 midnight, nobody knew whether Wizkid was coming or not. But around 1 a.m., 12 a.m., it had started, like, the rumors started to go around that he was in bed. That's what people were saying. Rumors, by the way. That he was in bed and he was sleeping. And other people just like, you know what, he's not going to turn that up. Now, people on the grounds were having the worst time ever, because apparently between categorizing the different tickets,
oh my God,
the standard, the VIP, the tables, which were going for $2,500 to $8,000, everything just scatter. Everything was just disorganized.
And you know, like in your shots right now was Wizkid, or is Wizkid and King Promise, and they were in a private jet
heading to Benin.
Cotonou. So that's where he rather performed in Benin, Cotonou. And on that same night, he was also billed to perform in Abidjan, and he also didn't show up. So
the interesting thing about the Abidjan thing is that that's actually the second time this year that he's been scheduled. Exactly, he's been scheduled to actually perform, and he just didn't turn up. So now we have to question two things, because at the end of the day, two people were involved in this, or two parties were involved in this. First of all, Live Hub were, this is their event. What happened? They said he breached his contractual obligation last night, and they sincerely apologized for the inconvenience caused. They've assured people that they're going to give them full refunds. We are hoping that we don't hear any, the system is down, the system is down.
No, don't get a full refund, because even those who paid for the event and were there couldn't even have access to their barcodes to show that, hey, I made my purchase and this is it. So what are you going to show? So and if you even bought physical tickets, some people have even thrown it away, like binned it or something.
100%.
So how are you going to follow
100%. Some people are kind of defending Wizkid. They're saying that he knows his standards and knows his worth. And so if Live Pub weren't able to fill out the 40,000 seat stadium, then he's not going to perform. But it's just like, as an artist of that experience and of just artistic integrity, the one thing that you do owe to your fans is an apology. And I don't mean the apology that's slapped on the screen.
He issued
this
an
is not an
apology.
apology. This is not an apology. This apology, by the way, I know, but I'm just saying that this is not an apology. I'm not saying it's not technically an apology. But this is not. No, I feel like absolutely not. He is way more experienced, and it kills me because not only is the diction all over the place, there's so many exclamation marks. Is he yelling at the fans? Is he, what is it? And it doesn't seem very genuine. Also, this apology came very, very late. As of 5 a.m., people were leaving the stadium after being heavily disappointed by him just not showing up.
Probably he was flying and he didn't have service. You can never.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just playing the devil's advocate.
I feel like if you were a brand new artist, we can kind of give you the benefit of the doubt. But you've been in the game too long and too deep, and you have a big fan base. And the one thing that he constantly does is always talk about how much he loves Ghanaians and loves Ghana. So if you really do, then show that love by respecting them and apologizing properly. So this apology, unfortunately, was actually deleted. He actually deleted it after, so it was hung on his Instagram story for a bit, and then it just, you know, seemingly vanished. I don't know if you guys want us to go through it.
Yeah, sure. But one part that really struck me is my brand. Okay, so Ghana is a country I hold so dear to my heart. First and foremost, I want to apologize to all my fans. Like Lourdes says, exclamation mark, yelling. Y'all know I would never do anything without a serious reasoning behind it. My brand is something I don't joke with. I sincerely apologize to everyone who made the effort to come out for me last night. I was charged up looking forward to doing this. Really? However, please understand that every decision I made coincided with honoring my fans.
If you were really sorry, you would have said something
a drastic decision like this because it was the right thing to do. And I had to. Unfortunately, up until the day of the show, there continued to be safety and production. Like, it goes on and on and on.
So now that we've gone on to Wizkid, we need to also hold the event organization accountable too. If you know that you cannot sell 40,000 seats at a stadium, please chill. It's great to be ambitious, but let's be realistic, especially in a country where our industry is very fragile and our concert culture isn't the best. We have They love music and they love a good time, especially during this time of the year. Please, we've already been through so much as it is. If you really do love your craft and the people that, you know, patronize it, you will 100% respect them, not only in the quality performance that you give them, but in the way it's scheduled and the way it's organized. We need to sort out our concert culture. It's just too much. It's too much.
Anyways, let's just hear what you guys also had to say about this on social media.
Lewinsky says, why does this look like a copy and paste forced apology? Man, oh man.
For me, it's a compromise one for me.
Trent's girl says, Chale, I make it make sense. Make it make sense. You knew there was an issue concerning security, which, by the way, is not even a good excuse. Because if there was a security issue, why is it that other acts came to perform? Thank you very much. But you tweeted, Accra Sports Stadium tonight. Glad I didn't think of going. Massa, I don't like you again. It's ridiculous. And it's just crazy to think about all the things that were going on the ground. People's tables had actually been taken from them. Imagine paying $8,000 and then you get there expecting some kind of service and you're told that, oh, sorry, we gave your table away. Then the VIP and the standards were mixed up together. That is so dangerous on a different level because there are a certain number of people that you put for VIP and standard. You need to make sure that each and every single section is filled and you're just mixing it up. Oh, I'm on a road today. I'm tired. Every other day we're complaining about events and stuff. The only way we actually really make money out of our music is not through streaming services. It's through events and organizations. For both the patronizers and the artists.
They beg.
When are we going to change? It's too much.
Just tell them why you're looking so sweet. Just tell them why you're looking so sweet.
Anyway, in all this anger, I obviously maintain fabulousness. So yeah, Nose Cosmetics, thank you for making me look the bomb diggity. Of course, you can follow them across all social media platforms. Make sure you follow them. And of course, if you're looking for content to do with the city, that's sports, news, entertainment, you name it, make sure you follow us on YouTube or subscribe to our channel with CityTube, or you can just whip out your camera and scan the barcode and it'll take you straight there.
Of course. I mean, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more.
6 years of explosive performances by the leader of the movement, a culture, a nation, Beam Nation. Burnett's Music presents the ultimate African Caribbean link-up, the Grand Arena, Friday, 23rd December, the 6th edition of the annual Beam concert with Stonebwoy and the legendary Busy Signal. VIP tickets going now for 500 Ghana cedis and 200 Ghana cedis regular. Visit beamconcerts.com. Dial *365*2022# or call 0501-550-000 for VVIP table reservations. 23rd December, the Grand Arena, 7 p.m. prompt. Burnett's, Beam Nation to the world.
Can you come over? Right now, loneliness taking.
Charlie can't see. Today we dey watch like you see the drummers are feel you. Oh, uncle, why are you crying? It's a tear of joy. I'm on my kind and two. I'm a coach stadium crab with the pen feel. It is second time I mention match or make them feel. Oh, 8D plus. How? Other pictures no, 5 times better clear than the others. You can record your favorite shows, rewind, pause, and control your viewing experience anyhow you want it.
Wow! World-class TV viewing at Bagana.
Wow, watching HD Plus is like you did a Philly. You can get HD Plus decoder from any multi-TV dealer or all electronic shop nationwide, and the price is affordable.
Come on a journey, a decade in the offing, spanning 23 creative years. Nana Asase presents Mental Pictures, Episode 6, Dap the Mixtape, a night of literary renditions and cultural expressions. Come and experience a cocktail of poetry, music, dance, along with a Made in Ghana craft exhibition created by the Ghana Export Promotion Authority. Special guest appearances, Nenana, Kwanpa, Abiana, Dinah Hopeson, and Kwabna. Date is on the Monday, 12th of December 2022, and the venue is at the Adaikase Hall, La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. 6 p.m. prompt. Ticket is a cool 200 Ghana cedi for single, 380 for double, and 100 Ghana cedi if you have a student ID card. Grab your ticket by dialing *447*2246#. Or formal. There will be a unique Made in Ghana presented by Nana Asase Inscriptions in partnership with GEPA, Poetry Association of Ghana, AFTC FTA, National Coordination Office, and Ghana Tourism Authority, and Penny Becca and Penny Sem, and Mofra Betwa Nancy Sem. This is a Beyond the Return event.
Righty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is 30 Minutes. My name is Echo Compson. His name is Lourdes.
You can find me on Twitter, at Hello Lourdes
Specifically
_
Twitter.
Yeah.
But actually, you know what? I've actually opened my Instagram. So
oh my
they can find me on Instagram too, with Lily.
You guys should have been behind the camera, like when we were on the break. You should have seen what was going on. Like it was heated.
It was a very heated debate. I just want the best for our industry. That's all. It's so profitable, and there's so many amazing, talented people that can do so many things. Yeah. But yet I feel like we're so behind. You know, we're so behind.
Let's make progress. I mean, it's interesting because there's a video making rounds on social media that shows a lady who was cooking for. We don't know who she's cooking for.
But she was cooking, and it definitely wasn't for herself.
And then she does something. And
she's pregnant and she feels for underwear because pregnant women have very strange cravings.
Yeah, strange cravings. But let's check out this video of what this lady did while she was cooking. I feel like that was weird, man. That was so. Yeah,
so that's her over there in the corner.
God. Oh my God. No, don't do it. Don't do it.
She takes off her underwear.
Don't! Oh no!
She takes off her underwear. It's red, by the way, and then stuffs it right in the soup.
Don't make it weird
you know,
for me.
likes to mix up. If you ever made pasta before, you know when you're flipping over the pasta and trying to mix it with the sauce. That's exactly what she's doing.
Oh my God!
Whipping it all in there.
Lord,
whether she's on her period, whether she just came from the toilet or finished peeing, who knows? Because it's going right into the soup.
Do this,
you know,
stop it.
You know how people like to spice up the meat in their soup? She is doing that with her underwear.
No.
All of it live and coloured. Unfortunately, the little girl is assisting her in the food. She's adding more toppings. Oh, hey! No, she's coming to mix it nice, hot and steaming for the unfortunate victim. You know what? She even added the meat first. So she's even been considerate. Mix it all up. All the vaginal germs in the possible world, and possibly spiritual too.
Oh my Lord,
it's her looking around for me, you know.
Please, I beg you.
No, we have to get into the nitty-gritty of this.
Oh man,
I cannot believe that we just witnessed that. So in case you're wondering what that was, that is a video circulating the internet of a particular lady putting underwear in her food because apparently this has now become the new thing with rituals.
Yeah, with rituals and how to keep a man with you and all of those things.
Never mind personality or the fact that, you know what, if he's not feeling you, you know, have some self-respect and walk around. No, stuff your underwear into your soups and you're good to go, apparently.
Yeah, it's called Bidi and Ko. Like, come and eat and you won't go again.
Hey! Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Bidi and Ko.
That's a good name, though.
Anyways, guys, this is all we had to say about it. Let's hear what you guys were saying about this on social media.
Oh my God, so Merit7 says, God, I beg, protect my brothers from evil women and keep all good men safe. What they sued their money and marry, or so their money and marry, will never kill them physically or spiritually. Amen.
Ije Jojo is, Isaac Jojo says, and this is not Africa magic.
No, literally, that is Africa magic.
Every day I get new reasons why I shouldn't eat outside my house.
Yeah, when they're telling you guys that there's rice at home, but it's within your household that they're doing it.
Could be somebody with you in your house. You can never tell. Abel Fortune says, Ekwesu slowly romancing mama water. Person go chop this food and talk, say, Mama, your food no sweet. Or your mama, your food is sweet. But also you can tell your mom, like your mom, that her food is not sweet anymore. Taiwo Ignitus says, I once caught a neighbor removed meat from her pants to put inside food for her husband.
Oh, this they're trying to keep things freaky in the bedroom, you know.
Oh man,
I want to be something that you want to eat. I want to be edible, and then you just yank out your underwear like, babe, are you feeling this? I'm very saucy today. It might be like a kink thing. You never actually know. But please, I don't even know what to say about that video. On a more serious note, that is absolutely disgusting. And does it even work anyway?
Anyways, I mean, Christmas is here next week, Saturday. All roads lead to La Palm Royal Beach Hotel at 8 p.m. for the all-white Christmas party situation featuring Stonebwoy, Prayer, Abiana, Aquabwa, God's Gift Brass Band, DJ Mingle, Inchinchim Band, the Rave Master Nana 24, AJ Sapon. Everybody is going to be there. It's going to be fire. So call 0205-973-973 or 0558-973-973. And of course, we are going to keep you locked. Situation is sponsored by Ebony Condoms, Lay's, Doritos, Series, Beyond the Return, Ghana Weekend, Logistics, Movers, and then, Vue de Venise. Oh my God.
All right, and if you're looking to add anything to your city watch list, make sure you add Dressed for Morning. It's showing on Thursdays at 9 p.m. and Friday at 7 p.m. And the repeats go for Saturday at 9 p.m. and Sunday at 5 p.m. And we can guarantee you that your weekends will never be the same. As you're at it, make sure you add Startup Africa. It literally merges being African and entrepreneurial. It shows every Tuesday, so that's for tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. and repeats for Wednesdays at 12:30 p.m. and Thursdays at 1 p.m.
And also, I mean, this Thursday, 7 p.m., catch the man, Tajudi Abdullahi, on Vox Pop Central. Do you want to know what's going on in the streets? Make sure you stay tuned for this show because it's going to be exciting. It's going to be funny. You're going to laugh. You're going to enjoy yourself.
Exactly. And obviously, Qatar 2022 is still on. And so we are too with World Cup Daily. It shows every single weekday. And because we absolutely love you and want you to have accessibility to the best sports discussion, we show it on tellies at 11 and on radio at 2 p.m. And of course, we could not do this without one expert, Nasco and Samsung.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And what's cooking? Tomorrow night, yes, is the M. Diggity himself, the man who releases all the bars he can ever think of. It's Manifest on What's Cooking with Apioko. Yes, and it's sponsored by Tasty Tom. Every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Sure, you're going to enjoy it. And Manifest is a good chef, and you enjoy it.
All right, so that's everything that's happening within the city, that situation, and literally anything and everything that you should be watching. And speaking of watching, you should be watching us tomorrow for 5 o'clock. My name is Lourdes Alexandra Opong. You can find me on Twitter at @HelloLourdes_.
Yeah, my name is Eko Kumsin. You can find me on all social media platforms at PK_Kumsin. The week just started.
It did, guys.
Stay safe out there.
Exactly, safe tight. I'm looking forward to the week though. There's so many that, there's so many things that are being announced. So keep tight, keep to the city, and we will let you know what to do and what to see and where to be. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Hello, welcome once again to Class Act right here on City TV, the one place where you get to learn very easily without any trouble at all, and with your family if you chose to do so. Today we have English language once again. It's already been a week. My name is Mauto Afisade. I'll be right back. Make sure
specially trained to provide medical advice and consultation on diverse health issues to the general public via telephone conversations or other digital meeting tools. Callers on any network can access the center every day by dialing the short code 255 to speak to a doctor to assist with consultation and healthcare.
Health Vest Mass Community Health Screening. The Vodafone Ghana Foundation Health Vest Initiative offers periodic health screening exercises for rural and urban communities across the country. With the aid of qualified medical doctors and nurses, Health Vest provides free medical initiative is further complemented by Ultrasound Scan Project, which is conducted every other month across rural communities. Vodafone Homecoming Nationwide Hospital Bill Settlement Initiative. Vodafone Homecoming is another benevolent initiative championed by Vodafone Ghana Foundation. Here, the foundation pays the medical bills of insolvent patients who are unable to go home due to these unpaid bills. The foundation settles these bills for treated patients across the country and goes further to reunite the beneficiaries with their families, connecting for good.
welcome back from that very short break. Of course, last week we started doing something on verbs and we looked at regular, irregular verbs. I know that grammar is not such an exciting thing to do, but if you learnt it and you understood it, you will enjoy it and you would be able to write and speak correct English at all times, or 90%, if not 99% of the time. So do make yourself comfortable. Call a friend to join you to study. It's always better to have more people learning with you to make revision even easier. So last week before I left you, I did say that we should be looking at irregular verbs, to be precise. We looked at regular verbs last week. If you were with us, you would remember that or a state of being, and we said that so that we can take care of verbs that do not have actions in them but are classified as verbs as well. Regular verbs, we said, would form their past tense and their past participle forms simply by adding d or ed to them. Do not forget the things that we learn, and as we learn on screen, remember to keep reading as well so you can have more explanation. The end of today's lesson, we should be able to identify sentences if we have to, and we should be able to use irregular verbs correctly as well. Of course, before the day would end, we'll look at our vocabulary. And I told you last week that we want to delve into the usage of some peculiar vocabularies that we have. So stay till the end so you can enjoy that as well. Irregular verbs. What are irregular verbs? Irregular verbs simply are verbs that form their past and their past participle in some other way other than a regular verb would do. Okay, so any verb that does not form its past or past participle simply by adding d or ed to it would be referred to as an irregular verb, because regular verbs do add d or ed to form past and past participle. But all the other verbs that we have, and we have a lot of them, which form their past and past participle in some different way, and they are varied. The ways are so many, and today we want to look at each of the categories that we may have so that we can. If anybody asked you what an irregular verb was, you should be able to tell them that an irregular verb is a verb that forms its past and its past participle in some other way other than a regular verb would do. Okay. What are the categories that we have? We have so many of them, but we'll look at some of the basic ones. As many examples as I can find, I brought some with me so that you can be familiarized with them. When it comes to irregular verbs, there is no formula to it. Unlike regular verbs, where you know that all you have to do is add d or ed to make past or past participle, when it comes to irregular verbs, there is no way you can just tell unless you have interacted with that verb before, either by reading it somewhere or having been told by someone or hearing it from someone who spoke it. So you need to keep reading and reading so that you can find all of these other verbs that we have which are not regular. Is that okay? The first category we'll look at is the one where the infinitive, the past tense, and the past participle have the same form. We looked at the forms of the verb. We looked at the infinitive, we looked at the past, and we looked at the past participle. When it comes to irregular verbs, there is this category where all three, the base form, the past tense form, and the past participle is exactly the same. So you don't change the form of the verb in any way, even when you're expressing past tense or the past participle form of the verb. Let's have some examples. I cut my finger yesterday. What's the verb there? The verb is cut, all right? I cut my finger yesterday. And then you can have, they have cut all ties with friends of yesterday. When you look at the first one, so the second one we have cut. When you look at the first one, the verb is cut and it's expressing past. So I cut my finger yesterday. A few of us sometimes forget and say, I cut my finger yesterday. That's another word altogether, another verb altogether. When it comes to the verb cut, as in something cutting you, a knife, a sharp object cutting you, that verb cut stays the same even in the past tense form. So I cut my finger yesterday will be the correct thing to say. And then you have the past participle form in the second example where you have, they have cut all ties with friends of yesterday. In this case, you can tell it's the past perfect, okay? So we're using the past participle form of the verb in addition to the have. You have, they have cut all ties with friends of yesterday. So the second cut is the past participle. The first one is the simple past, but they are the same. And it's the same as the base form of the verb cut as well. Another example here is the river burst its banks. The river burst its banks. What's the verb there? I hope you were able to pick out burst as the verb. The river burst its banks here. You're looking at burst as the verb. It could be in the past. You can tell. So the river burst its banks. It's in the past, but we're using the verb as it is, as though we're using it in the infinitive or the base form, just like that. And then we have the second one, which is the child has burst the balloons. So you see that we're using the past participle form of that verb burst in the second example, but it has stayed the same. So that's the first category. In no particular order, of course. So you have this one where the infinitive, the past tense, and the past participle stay the same. I have some more verbs here for you because you need to see them to be able to know them. They're very simple, but I hope you don't forget them. So you have hit being the infinitive, and you have hit and hit again, both past and past participle. We have heard, heard, heard. That is base form, past tense and past participle. And then you have set, staying the same for past and past participle. You have spread, being the same for past and past participles. You will not say I spreaded it, but you would rather say I spread it, I have spread it, not I have spreaded it. So take note of these ones. And then you have more. We have cost, cost, cost. It's not they costed it, but rather they cost it. So cost stays the same, whether it's in the past tense or in the past participle or it's in the infinitive, it's the same. And then we have shut, shut, shut. Okay, so I will shut the door. I have shut the door. It stays shut. And then you have bet, bet, bet. It's not bet, betted. It is bet, bet, bet for past and past participle. The last one I have for that category is put. So you have put, put, and put for infinitive, for past, and for past participle. These may not be enough. Of course, there are more verbs in this particular category, but the rest are for you to find as you read and learn more to add up to what we have done for today. And then we have another category of irregular verbs, where the irregular verbs have two past tenses and two past participles. Okay, so one verb but has two possible past tense forms and two possible past participle forms. Let's look at some examples so you understand better what I'm talking about. You have, for instance, burn. That word burn can be said to be burned in past tense or bent in past tense. And for the past participle, it's either burned or bent as well. Participle mirror each other. Okay, so the infinitive is one, but the past and past participle could be two for each of these verbs, but they mirror each other. So you have burn, possibly burned or bent for past, and burned or bent for past participle. And then you could also have dream. We have heard dreamt. I dreamt yesterday. I dreamt last night. But you could also say dreamed as well for past tense of dream. Same as the past participle could be dreamed or dreamt. And then we have learn. We have learned or learnt as past, and learned or learnt as past participle for that verb learn. We have more examples. Speed. You have speeded or sped. Both are correct for past for the verb speed, and you could also have speeded or sped as past participle of the verb speed as well. Then we have leap. To leap. That verb can be leaped or leapt in the past tense, and you could also have leaped or leapt in the past participle. Weave. Weave can be weaved or woven. Weaved or woven, both for past and past participle. And the final one I brought is spoil. You can have spoiled or spoiled. Either way, they are correct for past or past participle. So you see, the first category stays the same for infinitive, past and past participle. The second one has two possible past tense forms and two possible past participle forms which mirror each other. So the verb is just one. So if somebody said that the car speeded by, the person is not incorrect. You could also say the car sped by, and you are equally correct as well. Is that okay? Let's look at another category very quickly. We have irregular verbs which have their past tense and their past participle being the same. Okay, so the past and the past participle is the same, even though they do not end in D or ED. We know regular verbs will end in D or ED, and they are the same for past and past participle. Here is the case. We have irregular verbs which are the same for past and past participle as well, but in this case, they do not end in D or ED. More examples for this as well. Let's look at them together. We have bent. We have bent and bent. Take note. The first one was burn, B-U-R-N. But this one is burn, as in to bend something. So it's not burned, it's bent, okay? For bent, we have the past being bent or past participle being bent. So participle, but they don't end in ED. Or built and built. For dig, we have dug and dug for past participle, and then we have feel, which becomes felt or felt for past and past participle. Keep is kept, kept. Find is found, found. Of course, like I said earlier, these are not the only ones we have. These are just a few, very few. So you need to keep reading so you can find more, so you do not say the wrong things at any point in time if you have to use any of these irregular verbs. The fourth category that I found is irregular verbs which have regular past tense forms. And when we say they have regular past tense forms, we mean that their past tense forms end in D or ED. Okay? But then their past participles are two possible forms. So they have the same past tense forms as regular verbs will do, which means the past tense forms end in D or ED. But when it comes to the past participle forms of these verbs, they have two possible forms working together as the past participle. For example, you have mow, to mow the lawn. When you have mow as a verb, the past tense form is mowed. So I mowed my lawn yesterday. But then when you get to the past participle, you have two possible forms. So you can have, I have mowed my lawn already, or I have mown my lawn already. So you have mow, being mowed for past, but for past participle could be mowed or mown. Then you have prove. That word prove, you have to prove what you're saying. You look at the past tense as proved. But then when you look at the past participle, you can have proved or proven. So prove becomes proved in past, but could be proved or proven in past participle. You have sow. To sow your choice, for instance. You have sow being sowed in past, sowed and sown in past participle. Show is showed, showed and shown in past participle. Sow, as in to sow a crop, you have sowed in past, but sowed and sown in past participle. Then we have swell, which is swelled in past, but swelled and swollen in past participle. This is very interesting. When it comes to verbs, there's just no way of figuring out how to say it unless you have learned it. And so keep learning it so that you can get better and better at it. The final category of irregular verbs that we have is the category where you have irregular verbs which have the infinitive, their past tense, and their past participle forms all being different from one another. So whereas some of the irregular verbs have the same for past and past participle, when it comes to this particular category of irregular verbs, the infinitive, the past tense, and the past participle all different. So you have one very different form for the infinitive, one very different thing for the past of the same verb, and a very different thing for the past participle of the same verb. I know the very common one you can remember would be go. You have the verb go as the infinitive, then you have